everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be installing an ATS co-pilot on the old OBS Ford. When I bought the transmission, I bought stage 3 as opposed to stage 2. The only difference was stage 3 came with the co-pilot, so now we're going to get that installed. So inside the kit they include tools here, a resistor, some zip ties, heat shrink, and some little butt connectors there. We probably won't use these, we'll use solder, but we will use this. Comes with instructions, a harness, and then the co-pilot. So the co-pilot itself mounts inside of the truck, and let me go show you where I plan on mounting this thing. So inside the truck, I'm going to take this panel. It's loose, I already took the screws out, but I'm going to take this panel out. I'm going to put a hole in the back. I'm going to try to get this thing mounted like somewhere like so, just so it's not really going to get knocked anywhere, but also that I can see it and make my adjustments with these buttons here. So some of you might be asking the question, what is a co-pilot and what is its purpose? The co-pilot it allows you to control when you have torque converter lockup. I mean, it works well when it's accompanied by an exhaust brake, but also I haven't personally tried it. My thoughts are, if this works when I'm loaded to help me lock the torque converter up to help slow down, then I won't even need an exhaust brake. It's in the works, just seeing if this works better than one or the other, or if it's going to be better to accompany the two. Let's see a little tidbit from this write-up on the manual here. Factory computers are programmed to disengage lockup under certain conditions, which will protect transmission internal components under a higher load. It says if you have a stock transmission, it is recommended that you leave your co-pilot in a less aggressive setting under high load conditions. And that's just because you can break the shafts on them if your torque converter is too strong and you got a lot of weight pushing you and you let off or whatever it is. Just when that torque converter locks up, if it's real aggressive, you'll snap that factory input shaft on an E40D. Let's see. The factory torque converter clutch will also fail if applied under high load conditions. So while the commander will still function perfectly on a stock transmission, factory transmission shafts are weak and prone to breakage. The factory torque converter clutch will also fail if applied under high load conditions. I think I read that sentence twice, but just a little tidbit on what the co-pilot itself is it just allows you to be able to control when your torque converter locks up, whether you're under a high load application or just just everyday driving around where you're not loaded up. And it just basically allows you to use your transmission coming down off of a mountain pass loaded and just your trailer pushing through you, and you're only relying on your brakes, which will only get you right to the runaway truck ramp. Okay, so we got this piece out. Now we are gonna find the best. I mean, if we put that flush there, I believe it will have enough room on the tail end for this plug to still be able to plug in. It's not in a bind. I just got to punch a hole in the back to allow me to feed these wires through it. Also in the kit, if I didn't mention it before, it's got Velcro. So you can put this module in here, put some Velcro on it, we'll get it stuffed into its home, to where it's sitting pretty, and then we'll put this piece back in the truck and we'll get to the wiring portion of it. I took some basically hand sanitizer or some alcohol anyways, wiped down both surfaces, so this should stick pretty good. I'm going to put it this side there. Let's see, make sure my buttons and my letters are faced the right way. And we'll just stick them on there like that. Okay, and then we will allow that to sit for a second while we feed our holes. I ended up punching this hole out to about 5/8 with a step bit there, just to give me enough room to. 1/2 inch was pretty good, but 5/8 gives me just a little bit more breathing room. And my plans are, once I get this in the truck, is I'm going to leave myself a little bit of slack so that if I ever have to work on this module or take the module out of this little cubby hole, that I got some room to drag it to the front and take it out of here. Okay, so this piece there, plug her in. Get this, oh, there it is, lined up where it's kind of flush. Something like that. Okay, so that's gonna work. So we'll take our stickums off the back of this Velcro here and try to get it perfect the way that I want it to set. It's gonna be right about there. We'll push her in. You have yourself something that looks like that. The hole's coming out. It's kind of nice, secluded out of the way, but you still get your cubby to be able to put something inside there. Wallet, phone, whatever your heart desires. Let's go throw this back in the truck. Okay, so previous owner blessed us with a hole in there, so I just put a rubber grommet in, and we're gonna just run the wires with that harness there. And we need to get in and take this PCM connector out so we can look at the wires that we got to tap all of these guys into. So let's get to that. Okay, so we got the connector out of the old PCM here, and the takes a 10mm, and now we got to search for the wires that are inside of that they list out in the installation manual to see which wires we need to tap into. Looks like there is the ground wire already has a little eyelet on there, and I think I'm just gonna run it over and share it with this ground here. And yeah, so let's go look in the manual, see what wires we got to look for. So inside the manual, they have wiring for earlier models. This is a later model. I believe this is a 95. So the first wire we need to look into excuse me, is a red wire, pin 1. So I'll go to this next page here. So it says locate the red wire coming from the vehicle's PCM pin number 71. Tap this wire with the red copilot wire by soldering, and then shield the tap from the elements, which basically means solder it in there, hide it with some heat shrink. Hopefully it's the heat shrink with the glue in it, because that really helps seal moisture outside of that connection. So we're going to go and try to find this red wire on pin number 71. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. You can kind of, this lighting is horrible, but see the numbers on the pin there, or on the back of the connector? That's what it ends at. So the one that's shown, I don't have two hands, but this pin here is 26. And then if you follow up above that, you got 52 and then 78. And what I did was found that 78, counted backwards to 71, and there's this red wire right here. I'm gonna try to do all my splicing a little farther into the harness, just so that if somebody buys this truck, they don't like it, then they can, it'll be easy to return it back to factory without having to get a new connector in. So let's go get the solder and the soldering iron, and let's tap this wire. So it says the next wire is this ground, but it's a black wire. I don't think I'm going to tie it into that one. I think that's the one that's got the eyelet in it. So we're going to go to the, we're going to tie into that other ground that's right there for it, that is the same wire, just we're going to use the same place it attaches to. So now it looks like yellow and blue wire. So now we gotta find, looks like purple with yellow, PCM pin 28. So I think we're gonna cut the wire, and then the wire leading back to the transmission, and attach, okay. So connect the yellow wire coming from the copilot to the wire that goes to the PCM. So you're going to cut that purple with the yellow wire, boom, in two. And you're going to have the yellow wire go to the PCM side of that wire that you cut into. And then the blue wire is going to go to the opposite side. So it's going to come and run. So you're going to have two wires, one attached to one side, one attached to the other of one wire. They won't be connected anymore except through the copilot. So let's go take care of that. Okay, so just to put this in perspective, I found this purple with a yellow tracer wire, which means it just has a little line of yellow on it. So this yellow wire from the copilot will solder in here. It'll connect there. The other end of this wire here will get the blue wires soldered to it. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to save you guys the time of a time lapse of doing the same thing I've already done with this red wire here, and I'll get this yellow and this blue wire tied in. Okay, let's see here. So we got our blue wire tied in to the side that goes to the transmission. We got our yellow wire tied in the side that goes to the PCM. Well, one I believe we have left is there's some green wire. Let's go check out what that one goes to. So green wire, need to find a gray with a black stripe, can be found at pin 58. So see, run the green wire from the copilot module, cut off any excess, leave some slack, solder the green to and protect from the elements. So I think somewhere in here, there we go, just like that. So the green is going to tap in right here. Let's see where, oh, here's the co-pilot. So the green's going to tap into there. So your purple with yellow, got a yellow. Oops, sorry. Let's start that over again. So your purple with yellow comes out, goes to your yellow, to the co-pilot. And your blue comes out of your co-pilot, goes with that purple with yellow to your transmission. That's the only wire that gets tapped like that. The rest of them you just kind of wire tap into them. I'm going to do the same as I did with the red one. It's going to cut it, put all 3 wires together, solder it back in, put heat shrink over the top of it. So our brown wire, focus here, brown wire, I'm not going to use at this moment because I don't have an exhaust brake, so I'm just going to coil that up underneath the hood, protect it from the elements, and then the only wire that we will have left is the black wire, the ground, and we're just going to ground it to the same wire they wanted us to tap into, just because they both got eyelets. So we'll go take care of that real quick. Okay, got it all back together, got the connector back in, 10 millimeter if I didn't already say. Got our wire kind of ran, zip tied to this harness here. These 2 wires are for if I had an exhaust brake. I think I'm going to try to pull them back through the firewall, zip tie them up underneath the dash just until I actually need them. But let's go turn the key on. See if this thing lights up or what it does. Look at that. It's blue. Huh? It's killing music for YouTube, guys. And that dinging. I'm sure you guys enjoy that. So it looks like down, 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 down. Okay, so they're working. Let's see if in the manual it describes what's what. So I cannot actually tell you. My guess is it starts out where I have it now all the way down is normal. One other thing I didn't do on the camera, I did when this thing first showed up, is you can take the control board out and you can adjust these switches. Mine was actually preset to what they say. I'm not sure if I'll change this or not. If it cuts out on high speed, which it's showing off, so high speed cutout. My guess is when you're cruising down the road that it is not doing what it needs to do. Let's see. So my guess is, I guess I'll have to do a little bit more research and get back with you guys as far as what the display means. Okay, so just got off the phone with ATS and I asked the question of the lights on here. So the light indicates, or these are the speeds in which it locks up. Sorry, but let me shut this door up. The lower it is on the lights is the lower the speed of what your lockup is. The individual who I spoke to on the phone said that people typically run it in the middle. He said a lot of the times, the only time you want it really low is if you're in a racing application, which this truck is not. So I'm going to try right there to see what that is. And then also this light at the very edge over here is a green light. When the torque converter locks up, that light will turn green. Just so a little bit of information about this co-pilot from you, or for you, I guess, not from you. But it's installed, it's ready to go, and we'll go take it for a test drive. The other thing, if this is lights green, you can kind of look at your dash to see at what speed this is locking up at, and then you can adjust it from there. So I'm gonna go take it for a test drive, and we'll go from there. Just got back from the test drive. Looks like where I had it set. See the second one in, torque converter locks up at about 40 miles an hour. And you can adjust it up or down from there. That concludes today's video. Thanks for following along with this old OBS Ford makeover series I've got going on here. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, follow for more. Like I said, got a ton of parts sitting in the garage for this thing. Just slowly working it into some videos to make this truck ride like the new 60, 70, 80, 90 million dollar trucks that they're trying to sell now. So follow along. Thanks. We'll catch you on the next one.